Hey there and welcome to today's episode. Grab yourself a coffee or tea. We're going to be going through agentic workflows and set up your first personal agent on Slack using a backend of Obsidian, OpenViking, and then also securing it with 1Password, Tailscale, and a couple other programs. Sounds a little bit difficult, but it is pretty easy once we get into it. So if you want to jump forward into the episode after I've gone through the overview of why, like how my team's set up, and also how my assistant works with my team members and also the costs, you can jump forward probably about, I think it's like 15 or 20 minutes in the episode. I'll mark it in the chapters for you. This is how I've set up my AI team. I have about 20 agents in total at the moment, and it's only growing bigger and bigger because I also have over here, which you can't see on the screen, is an agent builder that sits over here and builds all these agents for me out of Claude Code or Codex. So the way that my current agent works up is I have Cortana, which is the one that we're going to be building a version of today, which basically orchestrates and runs all the team. I then have a finance person that I can chat to and ask about tax situations, zero reports, my own personal finances, bank statements, all this kind of stuff. And it looks out for like bills. And if I need to stop paying certain ones, if I'm overpaying, it looks for discounts, these sorts of things. We also have Mr. Fixer in the middle. So when you're running with AI or working with AI a fair bit, you'll notice that a lot of stuff just breaks because programs change, things move. It's just how development and things work. So I have a Mr. Fixer that helps fix things up. And I'll explain how this all works together in the next slide after this. I then also have Ren, which is like my accountability coach. She basically, well, he or she basically keeps making sure that I'm working towards my goals and always focusing on the one thing that matters. So as an example, this YouTube video I've had to re-record 4 times due to plenty of issues. So Ren's been helping keep me accountable to make that happen. I then also have Write, which is a multi-step web development process. And by that I mean is like I have PRDs, it goes through Git reviews, it builds multiple different Git trees, so multiple different Claude Code and Codex agents can code together and then merge together back onto the GitHub and then deploy to either a Railway or a Cloudflare instance for all landing pages. I then also have Scribe, which is like one of the main ones that people most seem to like when they're chatting to me, which basically goes into my email, drafts replies, goes into my WhatsApp, drafts replies, drafts telegrams, drafts messages, even goes into my Facebook, records this sort of stuff, looks at it, writes back how I'll potentially write those messages, and then leaves them in draft for me to check and write and then send off when I'm happy with them. And then finally, we also have Sensei, which is basically the coach for every one of these agents. So if finance is like continually doing multiple things, like again and again and again, that could be automated, Sensei will be giving a ping going like, hey, we could possibly do it this way. And Sensei will also message back to me and go, hey, Josh, we should do this with finance because it will make it more optimal for you. So that's like the basic 7 that really matter and that I'm going to go through in this series about building the agentic workflow and helping you go build up your personal assistant and realize how powerful this stuff is. So this is what makes agentic workflows really powerful once you get your head around it and start working with it and get used to talking to agents. What happens is there's me here at the start. I chat to Cortana as a Slack bot on my Slack. Cortana then takes all these messages that I send to her. So that could be meeting notes, automated AI note takers, emails, messages from Telegram, any sort of like YouTube video that I'm interested in or X post or anything like that. I can give to Cortana and tell her to go figure it out and sort it. And what she will do with the agents is she'll put on a Kanban board. And in that Kanban board, there'll be a to-do, doing, done. And she goes and assigns it to whichever of the agents is most likely to need that information or can work on it the best. So instead of trying to make one agent do everything, Cortana is an orchestrator who passes it out to others that have specific information about the stuff that I want them to work on. They work kind of like blinders on a horse and keep them exactly where you want them to do. And then you have your Sensei on the side that files all the improvements based upon like, okay, finance could do this better, Ren could do that better. And then Mr. Fixer, who fixes any kind of spot problems or failures. So what will happen is like Scribe here will go, I've lost access to Gmail, Mr. Fixer. Mr. Fixer go, okay, I'll go and fix that. Gmail access is now fixed. You can now go back and finish your doing task to done. And then Cortana can check it to make sure it's happy and meets my criteria. And then Cortana will ping me back in Slack and go, hey Josh, that item that you asked me to do for the scribe, it's now done. Here's the information about it. Here's the link to what you need to do, or it's already in my drafts. If Mr. Fixer here can't fix like the Gmail access and it requires like an OAuth or a password, he will then raise that ticket all the way up to me and go, hey Josh, I was trying to fix this Gmail thing for Scribe. I couldn't get it done. Can you help me? And then I'll go through and talk to Mr. Fixer directly and help him fix that up. Having this kind of setup with Mr. Fixer though resolves about 90% of my issues that I have on an ongoing basis when I'm running these agents 24/7 and letting them run while I sleep. Same thing with Sensei. Sensei will do a 9 a.m. board for me of all the improvements that all the agents could have every 3 days. And Cortana does a morning brief for me as well at 9 a.m., which also has a voice over as well so I can listen to it on the run. It goes through my to-do-list, it goes through my calendar, it goes through my emails, and it basically goes, cool, here's the most important things for the day that you need to worry about as defined by Ren and myself. So that's how my fleet works on those 7 agents. And then there's a lot of other more niche agents, like an agent for this YouTube channel to help me put it together. I had an agent help me go and learn how to do video editing. So now that you understand my kind of agentic workflow, let's talk about your personal agent and how it all connects and works together. We're going to start here on the side and think about this like a house. So we've got a house here. We're going to draw a pretty little house with our little windows and a pretty little door, right? So we've got one password. It's a safe, it's read-only access. I'm not a security expert. I don't know how to very well lock down VPS boxes and all this stuff and to see every single instance of inside out of how to protect myself with all this information. So why not rely on a partner that does this for a living and gets paid to do it? So I thought the best way was to have a 1Password in the back end. Whereas if someone actually goes and hacks my VPS or just online computer or gets into my house, the valuables are locked up in a safe that they don't have the keys to actually get access to. So when we do 1Password, we're going to have a read vault and also a write vault. And the reason why we do that is so we have one vault where you can read all the access keys, and also a write vault where in the future when you're going to do the agentic setup and I show you how to build the agent to build the other agents, it's going to use the write box to write all the refreshing tokens that happen all the time so you don't store them in the .env file, which gets stored as plain text and quite easy. If you get hacked on your VPS, those things get stolen, very hard to recover, such a pain in the butt. I've been through it. This is why I've done it this way. On the other side here, we've got the brain. So that's going to be Codex with the OAuth. So it's a one-time, not a one-time subscription. It's a monthly subscription. And at least then it's a flat and you can just do the $20 a month to start off with and you can progressively increase it as you need to. We do Open Router, which is the API on the back end, just in case if Codex ever goes down, you've got Open Router there. And also too, you can send any small tasks to Open Router that you don't want to run through Codex. I picked Slack for the place where we talk to the agents, and this is because I've tried Discord, I've tried Telegram, I've tried WhatsApp even, and I just found them all very frustrating and annoying. I really like the canvas layout and the markdown format of Slack and how it formats messages, how you can put it in threads, and how you can do canvases and reference back, and the searching, and also the setup to allow for bots is really well done. And Slack also has a free tier that you can start off with before you go into the paid tiers. And paid tiers start at like $6 or $7 per user. So for me, I've created like an internal family one on Slack that my family have access to, and it costs us like, I think it's $21 a month. It's rather cheap for what it is. We've also hardened everything with a firewall, fail to ban, and I also use Tailscale. This is optional. I really do recommend it. So then you're not leaking out your IP address to the internet. And this is why I like it, because once they go through Tailscale, it's very hard again to find the IP address to the VPS. I find it's just way more, once again, another layer of security just to make sure, because I'm putting all this information in there, I don't want anyone to be able to get access to it, and it's on a virtual computer. If I was on a Mac Mini setup instead, which I also have, I don't do as much security there because I can harden it down based upon my local network. The last bit too is we're going to have the Obsidian, which is going to be the data backup. We won't have the Obsidian actual install in this video, but we will have the markdown information in the actual OpenViking and that setup and the backup markup done. So when we do the Obsidian integration, so you can actually look at it on your own computer if you want to, it's very easy to do, and it's just going to be a couple clicks of a button and a GitHub installation into Obsidian. It's really quick and easy. Last thing, we're going to do a GitHub, which does an automatic backup at every 3 a.m. So if you ever break your SOUL or USER.md or break your setup doing an update or an upgrade, then you can always roll it back with GitHub, and you've always got a backup then just in case, instead of paying $5 to like Hostinger or something like this. So finally, what does it end up costing? I worked out it being about $31 a month USD. So you can go with the most basic VPS on Hostinger, is the best one I've found so far. It could change by the time this video goes out. Got ChatGPT Plus on the basic plan at $20, OpenRouter at $2, I think is the minimum amount that you can put in. So that's all you really need. I put $5 or $10 in at a time, and I barely go through it in a month. You've also got your 1Password for your secrets vault, so it's about $3. Slack's free, GitHub's free, Obsidian's free, Tailscale's free up to, I believe, 4 or 5 computers. And the firewall and the fail to ban security is also free. So it ends up being like less than a coffee a day to have basically a person that's worth $60,000 or $80,000 running for you 24/7 once you get it going. And then you can add more. And these prices here don't scale with each user. So I can put multiple users on this VPS Hostinger. I can hold multiple agents under this ChatGPT. And I can also put multiple agents on the open routers and the 1Password. So my setup, I believe at the moment, for me personally, runs about $600 or $700 a month, and that's across 20 agents, and I'm on the highest tier of subscriptions for Codex and Claude Code. So the last thing too, when we do build out our agent, is we're going to have a SOUL.md and a USER.md. I've given you examples in the GitHub of the SOUL.md and the USER.md that you can use. Once you actually install this agent onto your server and you have it running in your Slack, so it's going to ask questions about you, what you work, what you do, what you're interested in, what you want help with. And then also too, it's going to ask questions like, how do you want it to be? How do you want it to work to help you put together your SOUL and USER.md? So that's the overview of what we're going to go through today. It's a 5-phase project to get launched and get up and running. It should only take about half an hour. We're going to be doing a little bit of terminal work, about 2 or 3 commands in there, not too much. And then the whole idea is that you're going to use the GitHub that we have access to, and it's going to basically one-shot most of the whole setup of these 6 or 7 programs, which usually took me 3 or 4 weeks to figure out and make it work all together for you in less than half an hour. So take the advantage of the stuff that I've learnt and deploy and enjoy, and we'll jump over to the desktop and start working on this. Great, so we're over to the desktop. Let's get started. Let's open up the browser of choice that you want. So I've already opened up all the hyperlinks that you would have seen in the document that you're looking at now. So the document that you're looking at for here is a setup checklist. All these links here, I have already pulled these open so I can get the APIs automatically and have them ready to go. So phase 1 is going to be into a Codex install. So for me, I'm on Mac. So I'm going to be using command space quite a fair bit to open up my programs. I'm just going to resize that nicely, and then I'm just going to resize this page just slightly so we can see both quite easily while we're working on them here. And I'll enlarge this so it's just that little bit easier to see while we're working on it. Great, so first things first is we're going to go and install Codex to make our life that little bit easier. And now this can take about 3 or 4 minutes to install. So grab yourself a tea like I have, or a coffee while we wait. Great, so it's ready. I can press yes. I find it never actually does launch Codex. It's really frustrating. So you just have to type Codex. You're going to sign in. I'm going to sign in to that thing just on an opposite screen, just so you don't need to see that. And it's going to be like that. Perfect. That works. Powered by that. Just press enter to continue. Yes, and continue. We now have Codex running on this. So if you do run into any issues along the way, this is why I like having the Codex here, because you can just go back here. And I also have an agent installer runbook, which we'll go through in another video. But we can do here and just go, great, copy here. And I'm working through this. Can you help me do it step by step? And it will generally read this for you and help you. I'm also going to open a new terminal. So I'm just going to start Codex again, because we are going to make a Slack user interface. I'm just going to jump ahead slightly and grab this and go, here is an example. Brief to make an icon for a Slack agent. Can you please rework this brief to be about a savvy assistant with, let's say, Deadpool vibes. Thanks. So it'll redo that, and then I can put that in. And you can see here, would you like access to, yes, cool, don't ask me about that again. And you can see this one's here, beautiful. Cool. And then all I can do is, cool, great, can you make me, and it'll go make me an icon ready for our thing. See, and now it's telling me, it's reading all this information and letting me go. We're going to do this manually in another video. I'll show you how to do it with the agent. But I just wanted to show you how you can work with the agent here to do that. And then we've also got great here, the image it's making for us. So we'll keep this one open. Now I also have here to set up the 1Password command line. We don't need to do that for this setup. That's only for when we go through the agentic setup. We do need to open the 1Password app and create all the empty shell lows. So what we're going to do is, next item is the 1Password. I've already signed it up. So first things you want to do is go 1Password, settings. We're going to go general, start at login, probably is a good thing. And then security, I recommend turning on the unlock using Touch ID just to make your life easier. And then for privacy, check for vulnerable passwords as well, just in case. For developer, we're going to go show 1Password developer experience, integrate the CLI, integrate with MCP clients, and then also check for developer credentials on disk. And then we can close that. You're going to quit your 1Password and then reboot it, like so. Now here's a vault that I made earlier. There's nothing in it. I was just testing, so we can just go. If you do that by accident, you can just click delete vault here and type it. Now you can create the vault names however you like. I'm going to bring this across here while we make our vault names, just to make life that little bit easier while we work on it. We might need to make it a little bit larger so you can see this on screen better. So I'm just going to make it that little bit larger and move this across. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to make a vault. I'm going to call this one agent read for all my read tokens. And then change the icon. Let's make it a house. And we're going to make our agent write, ready for later on in the series. Just easier to do it now while you're here rather than having to go do it later. Create those. Sometimes it takes a little bit for it to turn up. Like you'll notice here, it doesn't turn up straight away. I've noticed that sometimes. Don't freak out. It will turn up eventually. Okay, so we're going to do the first item now, which is the open router. So we're just going to go create an item, show more, API credentials. Make sure it is exactly this. And you're going to use the credential field so you can remove everything else. I personally like adding URLs here as well. So the URL field of what I have to go put in. So like this one, there's OpenAI. So I'll get the OpenAI keys so I know where to go to get them later. But this is me, you don't have to. I just like doing it. Here you go, beautiful. See that one turned up there now. And then go new item, we've got open router. Create a new item, API credentials, open router, get rid of that, add our URL field, open router keys is going to be this address, save it, new item, create API credentials. Slack's probably the most difficult one that I'll go through. We've got Slack here, remove everything. Make sure you make everything here a password field. And then I recommend just copying and pasting the names just so you don't confuse them by accident. Because if you get them wrong even slightly, then this deployment won't work at all and you'll have issues with your agent, which is not a bad thing and a good way to learn. And then you can ask Codex, hey, what did I do wrong? And then the deployment also tell you that, hey, you've got your Slack stuff wrong. You need to go fix it. So we're just going to add the rest of the users here. We've got the allowed user. And then whoops, I did text. So password. And then we've got the home channel here. Beautiful. And then we're going to add the URL again. So there we go. I've added it now. And then we just got to do the GitHubs. So new item, API, GitHub. And this is for our backup. Password field, backup pat, which then is short for pathway, or our password that we use. And then one more password field, whoops, not phone. One more password field, backup repo. And then we're going to press save on that again. And then last one is Tailscale. So we're going to put this one in here, Tailscale. Save that. And this is what your vault should look like for read. Nothing under write yet, just the read. And that part's done. That's the really easy part, that's done. So we've put these all in, phase 2. All these ones are in. Now what you need to do is actually go to each of our setups. And we're going to go this one first. So we're going to do the one password first, which is the environment. So I'm going to copy this. You're going to go to directory, create a service account, and we're going to call this agent read for our agent read portfolio. So agent vault, I should say, not portfolio. Read access only, don't give access to the right one. Next, create account. It creates the account for you. You can save it to one password, add it to the read one only, save it, beautiful. Now we're going to do that again. So go view details. These will be deleted afterwards. So you're going to click new service account. So agent write. Next, on the right side, make sure it has write access as well. Next, create account. Save to one password, agent write, save. Beautiful. We can do the details again. Developer tools. Okay, that's done. So these now have the access to this. So when we install it on the service for the server, and we give the access to gain access. These service accounts is what will be the way that your agent will be able to get access to these passwords that are hidden in the vault. So next step now, we're going to go add all our passwords in, or our API keys that we just made all the stuff up for. So we've done that. And then we're going to go on to and do our Slack setup after this. So first setup here we've got is the Tailscale. So I've got Tailscale first. So you're going to do Tailscale, generate auth key, and it's going to go studio, hype, or slop. And then I'll just put it to kill it later. Doesn't need to be reusable. Put 90 days, generate the key. Going to copy that there for Tailscale. So we now have that set up. And the next one we have is going to be GitHub. So in GitHub, that one is a little bit different. So you want to go set up your GitHub so you have your thing. I'm going to create a new repository. So I'm just going to say this is my agent backup. Backup. And then I'm going to make sure it's private. Create my repository. I'm going to copy this path. Click edit. Backup repo will go there. And then what you're going to do is go into the GitHub access tokens. And I'm going to put the URL in here. So I've got it. And then I'm going to copy my thing. So you're going to generate a new token. And I was going to put kill on mine, so I know to just kill it after the session. Hype or ship. And I'm going to go only a select repository. Pick that specific one. Add permission of content. And you want it to be read and write. Generate the token. It's going to generate a token. You're going to copy that and chuck it right there. Done. So we've got open router. So open router is just new key here, put your information in, reset your limit. I recommend doing like a 5-day limit or something like that just to keep it secure, just in case something goes wrong. It's always better to be, better safe than sorry. So paste it in. OpenAI is next. So you're going to go to your OpenAI, just create new secret key. If you got a project, do it that way, but just create it all, create secret key. Quite easy. And then we're going to put the credentials in. Okay, so that's all the pretty easy ones done. We don't really need any of this anymore. You can now close this all down. You've now got all your, we'll keep the backup one. We don't need this one. We will need Slack open, and you will want to keep your hosting open. So next step is then to create the Slack app. So if we go grab this here, I'm going to pull it across to this screen. I'm going to hide our one password because we don't really care about it at the moment. Okay, so what we've got here is we're down to our Slack, create the app. So we're going to go into Slack apps. Beautiful, create an app. From a manifest, pick your workspace that you've made on Slack already. If you haven't already made a Slack workspace, just go make one. It's pretty easy. I recommend opening a new tab for this one, just to grab the Slack manifest. Make sure to copy the raw file and paste it in. Scroll all the way to the top. We're going to relabel the name here of the bot user and the display information. I'm going to call it Patricia. I'm not quite sure what I did call it. So you can call it Patricia, my VA. And I'm going to call my amazing assistant on Slack. Next. So you can see here, Patricia's got all those features, create it. Personally, you're meant to do all this stuff first. I like to go down to the display. We're going to find that icon that we made. So the icon that got made here. So I have it here. Let's go have a look what got made for us. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. So I'm going to save image as. I'll put it in downloads. I can add it. And then I'm going to go add my app icon. Pop it in. Open. And then if you do want to give it a bit more of a personality as well, you can go back here and go, cool, great. Can you write along about this agent for Slack? And then I can paste it in here while we work on the other stuff. So we're going to go open up our 1Password to do our Slack setup. I like to copy this one as well for my URL for the specific setup. And you can see there too, I got a ping from terminal saying that, hey, it's ready to go. So I could just grab this too and paste it in here. And then I like grabbing this one and then there you go, popping in there, and you can click Save Changes. Great. So that's done. We've got all this stuff. You can see how Codex is working. I like pulling across all the information on knowing my thing that I said to do that, but I like to have it all in here just in case I need it later. Just makes my life easier. So I also add, we want to go here, client ID. And then we're also going to do client secret. Beautiful. And then we've got the signing secret, so we can pop that in already. Add another field, password, verification. You don't have to copy me on this. It's my thing of doing it. We're going to do the app tokens. So authentications. I'm going to add the scope of each here. Generate it. Now, later on in the video, you'll find out that I actually made a mistake and I got my app token and bot tokens mixed up. So swap them around from what I tell you in this video, and you'll be fine when you get to the install step at the end. There's your token. So that's your bot token. Done. And then the app token will come from when we install it. So we're going to install the app, install in Studio. Patricia's about to get into Slack now. Beautiful. That's your token there. Paste it in there. Done. This is all done. Save it. Slack is now ready. We're going to do one more edit. We're going to do the allowed user and the home channel. So what that means is we're going to Slack. You can see Patricia's been installed. I'm going to make a new channel just for Patricia. So create, I don't want to create a channel. Patricia home, or whatever you want to call it. Like it can be anything, my assistant. Next, I suggest making it private so you can just invite who you want to it. Skip for that, and I'm going to go at Patricia. Send her that. Add them. She's not going to talk to just yet because we haven't installed anything. We just need to connect her to this to get this information. So we're going to copy the channel ID. This is going to make it her home. We're going to go to me and then view my details.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
So we're going to go down to me and we're going to look at my details, and we're going to come here and copy my member ID and that. So that way then Patricia knows only to respond to me. And that's what we've done too for the moment. If you don't want that to be set up, that can be adjusted, and you can tell Codex later on, hey, can you just remove that when you start chatting to it in Slack? So now that's pretty much everything done that we need for the main setup. So we'll just go through and double check that we've done everything that's required. So if I go back to our examples here and our setup checklist, we did our phase 2. We got all the API keys. We put them in. We did our Slack. We got all the tokens. We put those in. We did the read-only service account earlier on. We did the optional advance, which was the agent write. That's done. Now we're going to go SSH into the host. So what you want to do is you're going to go into, when you go through the Hostinger setup, you're going to pick whatever server location is best for you. They'll recommend it for you. You go next. You're going to pick Ubuntu, however you want to call it. You're going to put your password in. So I've already set these up already on mine. So you're just going to dump this in, right, and go next. We don't care about that. You want the malware scanner. Don't worry about daily backups unless you really need it. I suggest you can go with the KVM1, but I suggest going KVM2. I just find it more robust and better, and it's a really good price point for what it is. It just shows higher because I'm in Australia at the moment, so it shows at $6.49, even though it's actually less in USD. So once that's done, set up and provision, it takes about 5 minutes to provision. You'll get this kind of screen here. And what you want to get is this root access here, and you want to take down also to the password. For me personally, I just go under my personal one here, or actually under agent write, and I like to put Hostinger access as well. So if you're going to go API credentials, and then I will remove everything here, add a password field, and then go root access. And then root password. And then copy your root password in there. I'll do that off video and then press save. So then it's all in there, ready to go. So what we're gonna do is copy this, and then we're gonna go open up this part here so we can see what we need to do here. So it says SSH keygen, whatever, make sure it's clear. So I just need to make sure for me that the box is clear. So I'll just take a second to go do that, and then we'll jump back in and start up. So not all of you need to do that, but I do for this. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then what you're gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of this now. Copy the SSH. It's gonna ask for your password. I'm just gonna say yes. So it's going to ask the password. So copy that from your one password that you just did. And pop her in. And press enter. Now we're into the actual server itself. So the exact server here, we're inside it and accessed it. And then you can come to the steps here. We're going to go this one here. And this can take maybe like a minute to install sometimes. So there you go, done. Like it's pretty quick. All good. And then I'm going to run this dry run. So we've got the sudo environment. And what this is going to do is it's going to install pretty much everything. So see how there's a couple of things here that we need to adjust. We've got op vault equals Hermes. That's incorrect. This is your vault on one password. So in this case, it's agent read with a capital. So make sure you have that exactly right. So it is agent underscore read. And then we're going to get the OP service account token. So we're just going to go across here. Remove all that. Make sure you go backwards and forwards with the keys too, not up and down, because like if you go up, it goes to the last one. If you go down, see, it changes what the last thing was that you typed above. So in case you do make a mistake, that does make life a bit easier. So you have that here. We're going to get the service account token here, this one here. Paste it. Make sure it's between the brackets. Perfect. Press enter and it's going to start doing a dry run and just checking everything. So a dry run just means that it's going to make sure everything worked correctly. We're going to do a quick little look over here. Install Hermes runtime. Everything done. It said install complete. So it believes it's going to be done. So what I'm going to do is I press the up arrow. And I'm just going to remove the last dry run to make life a bit easier. So that's what we're doing here, the real run. Just remove it without the dry run. Like so. Now this can take about 3 or 4 minutes to install all the programs and put it together. And you'll see it go pretty crazy as it updates everything.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
And I believe Cortana wants to help us as well. Or I should say Alexa. So it looks like no VM, no container need to be recreated, but we can see here it's going through all the processes. It's verifying the one password service account and it can read every required field. So it's checking all the fields that we made, making sure they're all correct, making sure nothing's wrong. That can usually take a minute or so. So grab yourself your tea, chill out, wait while it does this. Okay, now it's getting ready. It's like, cool, great, I've got everything ready. Now you need to go and set up your Codex. I'm just going to do this on an opposite screen. So you'll get to this screen here, which is pretty straightforward. Just going to open my terminal up. You're going to grab this code, pop it in, press continue. Done. It should see this quite shortly. When you click back in there, see, yep, cool, it registered it. Now it's going, installing OpenViking, which is the memory layer. And very shortly, we should be able to chat to Patricia. So I see the issue that I had with this setup here. I actually got the bot token and the app token incorrect. So I need to edit this. And I need to swap around the bot token and the app token and save it. So we're just going to do a system restart in a second. Great, so after it cycled a little bit, Patricia now finally logged in that we swapped those tokens around. So good thing we had an error like that. See, even someone who does it all the time makes mistakes. So now I can say, hey there. Patricia's now going to reply to me. And she's going to ask all about what we're going to do next. You are going to get this a few times, which is really annoying. It's just in your update with the Hermes setup. So you can just go, hey, can you remove this notification, please? And I normally use Whisper to talk to the bots as well. I forgot to go. You need to go at Patricia first. Patricia. And you can get her to adjust so she replies automatically in the channel too if you want. Hey, I'm Homer, your new personal agent running the server. Help, shows commands. Nice to meet you. So here you go. You know, it tells you want to build your portfolio. Share as much as little as you want. Name, time zone. So if you want to do these, you can go to, once again, the setup that we have. So our little Hermes installer examples. You got a SOUL example here that you can take as a basis. So you can go to SOUL. Who are you? You can copy the raw and then paste it in here like so. And then a user, which is about me, so you can copy that raw file. And it's going to get all this information. See, it'll take a bit for it to analyze and update its actual system, but it's getting there. It'll take a little bit. Reviews the findings. And then you can also send it to do multiple things. You're like, hey, Patricia, can you stand up your Hermes dashboard? Plus Kanban URL via Tailscale to access. So things like this, and it can give you all the access. Cool, see, it's going to try and block it. It had an issue. It's still trying to work on it to figure out how to block the notification. Beautiful. And then it's going to, here you go, saved it. What to call you plus time zone, what you do. And then like you can pass this one here and just adjust it slightly. Like the thing here you can go here is, here's a template. I can go, I am using a template from here. Can you please grill me on questions around this one by one to make you unique to myself? Personally, I'll use a whisper flow. And that way I can just reply here and go, hey, my name's Josh. I love sushi and I work in the Sydney time zone. And even if you're not 100% accurate to the replies, it will update and off it goes. Got it. Cool. Awesome. See? And it goes ahead and it starts logging this information in. And then you can look at your threads here as well. See all the information. It's still working through this one. And then it's still working through this one as well. So that's why like you can do multiple things all at once. And you have it all here sitting in pretty little looking threads. That's your first agent done as an assistant. Get used to it, play with it. Next video is going to be on how to build multiple agents and then also adding the Obsidian setup. If you like this, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you want to see. I'm really starting out the channel and I'm really enjoying making this kind of content.